I did not ban you from finding older friends. That's what I heard from my best friend of 2 years. When I was in primary school, I had a great group of friends, so I was really looking forward to middle school. However, I happened to be my teacher's daughter. Yes, you heard me right. There's a high possibility that one would never want to befriend someone who could either be a spy or a nerd, so I tried to be considerate of the situation and moved forward. Nevertheless, I made a best friend whom I referred to as T. And it went on like that until we entered grade 9, which was when he formed himself a new group of friends. Without me. He would intentionally leave me out, not reply to my messages, and even lie in order to avoid spending time with me. All to prioritize his new friends. Initially, I was disappointed and furious, so I resorted to saying lots of hurtful and terrible things to him. Like, you left me. You did not care how I was doing or whether I needed you there or not. However, looking back, why was I even mad at him? It was my own expectations that he would always be by my side. It was I who didn't recognize that I had the agency to take actions, to, make new friends online or through social media platforms. It was I who disappointed myself. Now, examining my personal story, a logical problem emerges. It goes as follows. I had no friends. I had one friend. I expected that friend to always be by my side. It was evident that my expectations would not be met, and so I ended up disappointing myself. I'd like to call that the cycle of neediness. And it's not just me who experienced this cycle. I've seen it so many times in real life too. Like when a friend cries because their best friend does not reply to their text for a few days, or when a girl cries when she finds out that her lover cheated on her. And you might think, oh, that's normal. People are allowed to have expectations and yearnings. And yes, while that is completely true, did you know that the best friend could not reply because she was busy with her own schoolwork? Or the girl who got cheated on just did not take into account that her boyfriend had cheated on her multiple times before. Harsh as it may seem, your own expectations can lead to disappointment and hurt. And whatever you might think, expectations and yearnings are considered neediness just when it starts to negatively affect you, which includes making you cry, making you feel sad, and last but not least, making you feel lonely. Yet, it is all avoidable. It's just that you want to recognize the problem or not. And what is the root of the problem? I hate to say it, but it's you. Feelings that you're experiencing, isolation, abandonment, signifies the presence of loneliness. It means you're feeling being left out, that you do not matter. But you do, and such feelings once entering can be so extreme that it can even push one's mental health into a state of depression. I would know because I experienced it. And I'm not trying to blame anyone for the trauma, but hear me out. Neediness arises from various reasons, including one's personal insecurities, fears of rejection and abandonment, or even low self-esteem. According to Dr. Margaret Paul in 2019, individuals with low self-worth and self-esteem often seek validations from others. When you yearn for something, you form expectations around it and become emotionally dependent on the outcome. If your desires are not met, you might feel hurt or even disappointed. However, it's also important to recognize that one's fears of abandonment, rejection can also come from one's past experiences. In my case, it was the accumulation of my past experiences that raised my expectations and gave me the fear of abandonment when I have no friends or when I had T as a friend. So, if you notice, there is definitely a connection between one's past and one's fears. Thus, we can conclude that one's past experiences can also be the foundation for one's neediness. However, let's consider this. Our experiences shape who we are today. Without our past, we wouldn't be the individuals as we are now. Maturity is the sum of our experiences, which include finding our self-validations, whether it is relentlessly seeking recognition from others or finding the true self-worth of ourselves. Imagine this. When you're waiting for your friend to reply to your text, yet they didn't, you might feel sad or even disappointed. However, you might later find out that your friend was caught up in their crazy business and just couldn't reply in a flash. You finally get that they weren't intentionally blowing you off. After that, you're provided with a lesson. A lesson that helps you avoid getting hurt again. That is called experiences. Experiences that include you being needy. While, yes, it can be hurtful at first, you can learn from it and avoid it from happening again by realizing the problem. And the problem can be as simple as being inconsiderate of others or even over expectations. Which means when something has a really high chance of not happening, yet you keep on hoping for the opposite, and etc. Therefore, should yearnings, fears, expectations, or should I say neediness, be the sole determinant of a sense of loneliness? The answer we've been seeking for lies within ourselves. Only we can determine whether our past can have a negative or a positive impact on us. Only we can decide whether our fears can become neediness or help us overcome it. By acknowledging the logical connection between one's past and one's fears, we can take proactive steps and overcome this cycle. It's only through self-reflection, personal growth, and cultivating a sense of self-worth that we can actually break free of this pattern and, forge genuine, meaningful connections with others. And believe me, there are countless ways to tackle neediness. However, one of them involves a simple concept: not expecting. When you've been through roller coasters of emotions, ups and downs, you might find yourself reaching a breaking point. You might find it hard to have faith in people and arrive at the notion that if you stop expecting, you won't feel any more pain. Now, that, my friend, is not overcoming, but avoiding. While, yes, you might not experience hurt as badly as before, this approach comes at a cost. When you stop hoping or expecting anything from anyone, you start to build a wall around yourself that prevents meaningful connections and expectations and experiences from entering your life. It's like you're shutting down your emotions and putting a cap on your ability to fully engage with the world. And that is definitely not what you want to do. But instead, try to embrace the journey of self-growth. Well, yes, it might be challenging at times, but it opens the door to a more fulfilling life where you can forge meaningful and even lifelong connections with others without losing yourself in the process. Instead of shifting your focus onto not getting hurt, try concentrating on actually overcoming the pain. You know what they say, no pain, no gain. So try to avoid making assumptions about your friends before over-expecting, or you can try to find your own passions, interests, hence you do not need to rely on others for your own happiness. So, is neediness the root of loneliness? The answer lies within yourselves. Well, you can choose to let such fears drain you and consume your life, perpetuating a cycle of loneliness and isolation, or you can choose to take control and break free from this pattern. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.